You don't get in life what you want. You get in life what you will tolerate. I always thought that was a brilliant quote. And I thought it was fitting as I came into a point in my life. And I'm going to start a new phase. Not 126 phase, but just in the programming in terms of my fitness and my training and my nutrition. You see, when we face setbacks and challenges in our life, our choices on how we perceive those things matters an awful lot, actually. It'll often end up dictating what comes next, what plays out next as we face these challenges and setbacks. And I think that's a really big factor, because often I find when people face these challenges, these setbacks, things get derailed a little bit, they aren't happy with what's going on, they pacify themselves, they sedate themselves, they quit, or they find a dopamine chasing, or they just find a way out. They find a way to run away from whatever is going on in their world. And myself included, I have been there as well. And it just depends on what level you're going to play this out at. Because we're all going to face challenges and setbacks in our life. We are all going to face things that we don't want to fucking deal with. Things that aren't enjoyable in the moment. But when we shift the perspective from, well, this is shit, and shift it into, well, this is a timeline split, into something higher. We are being split off, redirected, pushed into something that is better for us. And it's an opportunity for growth. It's an opportunity to experience something new. It's an opportunity to see what we are capable of. When you view it this way, then things that could be perceived as negative turn into positives. When issues arise, when setbacks happen, you flip them on your head and you turn them into opportunities for something great. And it stops that tailspin. It halts that downward spiral, that death spiral in its tracks. Because now you're not, woe is me, oh, fuck my life, oh, everything's against me, the world's against me. You're like, fuck yes. Here is an opportunity for something better. Here is an opportunity for me to take this head on and see what I can do with this. Here is an opportunity for me to do something better. That wasn't meant for me. Now it's time to do something that is meant for me. Now it is time to do something better and to push into that growth. And that's what I took this as. So I've had a setback and I've got a challenge in front of me, and I've been trying to mitigate it for a while. So I am carrying currently a shoulder injury and an elbow injury, all on the left side. Shoulder injury is something that is from a dislocated shoulder from about 15 years ago. Occasionally things go wrong and it flares up. And the elbow is from carrying my kids around. It's basically a tennis elbow from that. And look, it's uncomfortable, it's frustrating, it's not ideal, but overall it isn't the end of the world. And as I said to you at the start, we get out of life what we tolerate, not what we desire. And I was just happy to put up with the pain. I did a bit of extra rehab kind of thing, got the joints moving before I lifted, and we're fine. Overall, it's not a big deal. It became a big deal the other day when I went to play a game with my daughter, and I nearly couldn't lift her because my shoulder impeded me that much. And that was the moment when I was like, well, this is no longer something I can tolerate. This is no longer something that I am going to willingly put up with. It now has to be addressed, it now has to be fixed, and it has to get better. Because my highest value is my family. My highest value is my wife, and my kids. And if something impedes my ability to do that, to provide for them, to play with them, to live my best life with them, then something has to change. And the second that happened, I was like, nope, this is no longer just something that's irritating to me. It is now an actual issue that has to be fixed. So therefore, I'm making a change. And oftentimes, the gap between people who succeed and improve quickly and reach results quickly is the time gap between making that decision. So that moment happened, and in my head, in that moment, I was like, I have to change. Something has to change now. And in that moment, I made the decision of what I'm about to explain to you, that I was going to do this because that was an unacceptable level. That was something I was not willing to tolerate. And therefore, I was going to change. Because, as I said, you don't get what you desire in life, you get what you will tolerate. And up until this point, I was willing to tolerate that. I was willing to tolerate that discomfort because it only affected me. As soon as that starts affecting the rest of my family, that shit comes to a halt, a screaming halt right then and there. And so that's what's happening. So, for the next 6 weeks, I am doing 0 upper body training. I'm going to do nothing that is going to load my shoulder, that is going to load my elbow. I am going to do extreme levels of fasting, including a 5-day fast. I'm going to do all the protocols possible to break the inflammation cycle. I'm going to fully ramp back anything that could cause inflammation in my body. Not that there is much there, but I'm going to ramp back everything. I'm going to increase the protocols in terms of supplementation to help support the anti-inflammatory process and the recovery process, including things like sauna, ice bath, flossing, myofascial release, scraping, cupping. I'm looking into needling and probably going to go get some more acupuncture. I'm going to do all the things. I'm going to hit this full force to get my shoulder and elbow back to 100% functionality. Is this something that I want to do? Fuck, no it is not. No. But on the flip side, this is an opportunity for me to share my knowledge and my experience with this. This is also an opportunity for one of those other areas that I am not happy with. Got a DEXA scan done today. And I am currently sitting at 19.8% body fat, which, considering I have visible abs, is an interesting one. But I'm not happy with that. I thought my fat loss had slowed. Granted, I am up 15 kilos heavier than I was when I was my leanest, and the last time I was my leanest, I was 17.8. So that's a pretty big win, but I'm not happy with the level of lean body mass that I am currently rocking. So I'm utilizing this as an opportunity. So not only within the next 6 weeks am I giving up all upper body training and lifting weights in that fashion, I'm also going to go hard on burning as much body fat as humanly possible. So for the next 6 weeks, I am only going to do conditioning. I am all in on breaking down as much body fat as humanly possible. So I'm going to get another DEXA scan in 6 weeks, and I'm going to see how much I can take off. My goal is to reach single-digit body fat. Can I do that in 6 weeks? I don't know, to be honest, is the honest to God answer. I actually don't know if that's doable. But the other opportunity I've got is here. I can document all this. I'm going to document my knowledge of recovery. I'm going to document my knowledge on how to deal with inflammatories and inflammation within the body. I'm going to document healing injuries and how to train around them. I'm going to share this whole process with you while also documenting dropping as much body fat as humanly possible in the next 6 weeks to see where I can end up. And so yeah, this is a challenge. This is a setback. This is downright an issue that I didn't want to face. As I said, I've been carrying this for fucking months. And I've been kind of gingerly dealing with it, but not really dealing with it, because I didn't want to have to do this. I didn't want to have to take this time off. I didn't want to have to deal with these sides of these kinds of things. But as soon as it reached a point where I was like, no, I can no longer tolerate what this is costing me, things had to change. And I think that's a really important lesson for you, because we talk about our values, we talk about what we value most, and that can vary from person to person. As I said, mine starts with my wife and my kids, and then it filters down from there, you know. And because it's my wife and my kids, that means my next priorities, my next values are income, money, health, and happiness, because they are my number one priorities that feed into being the best version for them. So my health, my physical components, they fall into the two, my wealth, how I provide for my family and the life I can provide for them, and then my happiness, because I show up as a better version when I look after those three things for them. But what are you going to tolerate? And you already have the answer, you just don't want to admit that. If you look at your life and everything that's going on in your life, you have the answer about what you're willing to tolerate. If your life is a flaming pile of dog shit and you hate it, that's what you're willing to tolerate, because you're tolerating it right now. You're accepting that this is an acceptable version of your life. But if you're not happy with it, then it's time to change. Then it's time to do something different. And it's time to actually question what you're willing to tolerate. Change those standards. I am no longer going to tolerate bad health in my life. I am no longer going to tolerate this physique that I have. I am no longer going to tolerate excuses and bullshit for the why I am not living the life I want. I am no longer going to tolerate procrastination, sedation, and putting off the things that will actually bring me the life that I want. I'm no longer going to tolerate my bank account being empty all the time. I'm no longer going to tolerate being unhappy. You make these decisions. Your life is a direct reflection of your choices, of the choices of the things that you will tolerate. And if you don't like it, good. Fucking good. It now gives you the opportunity to change it. It now gives you the opportunity to make the choice to do better. That's a fucking exciting place to be, if you're willing to take it on, if you're willing to accept that. Because, as I said, we don't get what we desire, what we want, what we crave, what we want more than anything in this life. No, we get what we are willing to tolerate. I spoke about it the other day, but you have to step into being the man who is going to live that life. You got to fake it till you make it. You got to act as if. You got to live your life as if you are already that guy. As if you are already the man who has everything figured out. You got to do the habits of that man. You got to live as if. You've got to act as if. You got to have the confidence. You got to vibrate at that level that you are already that person. Then, and only then, will your life transform. But as long as we continue to tolerate all the things that we are tolerating, life is going to stay the same. And yeah, it is probably going to be uncomfortable. It is probably going to have moments where you will not want to do those things. As I said, I don't really want to spend 6 weeks doing conditioning. I fucking hate conditioning, to be honest. As a general rule, I hate conditioning. I love the feeling when I'm done. I love that it releases that inner beast in me, that it gets that happening. But on a general basis, I would much prefer to lift heavy shit, get a good fucking pump, and see the muscles grow. That's what I enjoy doing. That is, as a general rule of thumb, what I prefer to do. But my values have now dictated that that's no longer acceptable. Because this shoulder is no longer an acceptable level. This shoulder and elbow is now impeding my ability to do the things that I value most. Therefore, it has to change. So I am now changing the things that I will tolerate. I am now changing my habits and my actions and my thoughts around that, because I will not tolerate it impeding my ability to play with my kids, my ability to love my kids and support them and provide for them. It is now impeding on that. As I said, when you get into situations like this, you now have an opportunity to shift the game. You have an opportunity to change the perspective. Instead of going to woe is me, we go, wow, what can I create off this? What can I make happen with this? And the answer is, for me, at least right now, I have an opportunity to provide great value to you. I have an opportunity to show you the plethora of knowledge I have around these areas. I have an opportunity to showcase in direct action as it happens, play by play, how this is going to play out. I'll show you the nutrition. I will show you the activities. I will show you the workouts. I will show you the results. That's a great opportunity for me. And I have an opportunity to hit a goal that I have never once in my life hit. And this is a push because, as I said, I hate conditioning. I hate that kind of training and that fat burning, and it's not something that I'm particularly excited to do, but it now forces me and gives me an opportunity to do that stuff properly so that I can pursue this. I can pursue that goal of seeing if I can reach single-digit body fat. See what that looks like. I've been, in my head, pretty fucking lean before. And even right now, I don't think I'm not lean, but apparently not lean enough. So it's an opportunity for me to see what else I can put out there, what else I can create, and what else I can achieve. So this is how we look at challenges and setbacks. This is how we view our life and what we're willing to tolerate. So yeah, I wasn't happy with the outcomes I was receiving. I wasn't happy with how that was impacting other areas of my life. So now I make a choice. I choose to flip that challenge on its head, and I make it into an opportunity to do great things, to truly push into being the best version of myself and seeing what I am capable of. Because I don't know what I'm capable of right now, but we're going to find out, and I'm going to share that process with you as I go through it. And I think it's going to be pretty exciting. So stay tuned for that as we go through these different opportunities and these things, and a chance to see what is possible with it all. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed that. Now, standard platitudes. If you enjoyed it, if you took value of it, if there was something of note, please like, comment, subscribe, and send it to someone who needs to hear it. Next, if you are ready to take the next step, please click the link in my bio, join the Daily Greatness Mail, and grab a copy of the 10 tools to transform your mental toughness and become the best version of yourself. Lastly, if you want to start your own transformation, if you want to see what is truly possible in the next 30 days, please shoot me a message and join my 30-day weighted walk challenge. And let's see what you are truly capable of. Let's transform your confidence, your fitness, your mental toughness, your discipline, your fortitude, all of those things and more. It's only 30 days. Anyone can do anything for 30 days. If you think you've got what it takes to transform your life, shoot me a message and let's see what you can do. Until then,